Hello learners, Namaskar. I am Pragya welcoming you in your YouTube channel English Seeker. Today I am going to start the first poem of your syllabus, that is Dust of Snow. So the very first I will discuss about the poet. The poet of this poem is Robert Frost, and his full name is Robert Lee Frost, who was born on March 26, 1874 in San Francisco, California, United States, and he was died on January 29, 1963, Boston, United States. If I will talk about his parents, so his father name is William Prescott Frost and his mother's name is Isabella Moody. If I will talk about his education, so he got his higher education from Harvard University in the year 1897 to 1899 and the basic education from the Dartmouth College. If I will talk about his spouse name, so Eleanor Miriam White was his spouse, it means his wife. If I will talk about his occupation, so he was an American poet and playwright. If I will talk about his honors which he got in his lifespan, so he got United States Poet Laureate in 1961 and he won the Pulitzer Prize for his poetry 4 times. The very first in 1924 and the collection was New Hampshire. Second time he got in 1931 and the collection's name was, his poetry collection's name was Collected Poems. The third Pulitzer Prize which he got in 1937 and this time his collection's name was A Further Range, and the last one and the fourth one in 1943 and its collection name was A Witness Tree. So these were the prizes. So let's see Robert Frost, about Robert Frost in a glance. So Robert Frost was an American poet who worked as a teacher, a cobbler and an editor at the Lawrence Sentinel. In 1894, his poem My Butterfly appeared in the New York newspaper The Independent. Frost's work was frequently simple and set in rural surroundings. However, though he explained complex social and philosophical themes. And one more thing which I want to tell you, that your second poem composed by Robert Frost is Fire and Ice, which was published in the collection in 1924 New Hampshire, for which he got the very first Pulitzer Prize. So I am just going to start the first poem Dust of Snow in this. So let's see its explanation, then its key point, then the complete poem in a nutshell. After that I will provide you the poetic devices of this poem too. So let's see. The poem starts with this poem is only in 2 stanzas. The very first stanza is the way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree, and its explanation is the poet recounts a small incident apparently trivial. The poet is in a rural surrounding standing under a hemlock tree. The crow has either just alighted on the tree or is already sitting on the tree. A movement made by the crow dislodges some snow from the branch of the tree and results in showering the poet with some snowflakes. The second stanza is has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. So its explanation is the dust of snow as it fell on the poet uplifted his mood. It changed his feelings. Thus some part of a day which the poet had been regretful about was saved. It was not spent in sadness as the earlier part had been spent. If I will talk about the key points of this poem, so let's see. Both the hemlock tree and the crow are linked with darker negative aspects of nature. The crow signifies death in Western philosophy and the hemlock tree has portrayed that caused death. So but here the irony is that they transform the poet's negative emotions into positive ones. So the poet gives us a picture of a grey, bleak, desolate winter landscape, but later his disappointment becomes sunny, his dispositions become sunny. The poem explores some important themes like the communication between the human beings and nature, the power of nature to heal, the significance of seemingly trivial events, and how natural events can influence human life. If I will talk about the poetic devices of this poem, so the very first, the rhyming scheme of this poem, is AB. Symbolism is also used in this poem, and for which the symbolism stands. So for hemlock and crow, for hemlock tree and crow are lies that are generally associated with the negative emotions and aspects, but the poet uses these symbols to bring about a positive change in him. If I will talk about the figure of speech, so the alliteration figure of speech has been used in this poem. So the very first is in the fifth line, has given my heart. So H and H, it means alliteration is here. And the second is the second last line, and saved some part. So saved and some, in this line also the alliteration figure of speech has been used. If I will talk about the poem in a nutshell, so let's see what can be say in a nutshell. This is a simple poem with a deep meaning. On the surface, the poet recounts a small incident, but it holds a deeper significance to him as it brings about a complete shift in his perspective and changed his mood. As a result, he goes on to have a good day. So this was the complete explanation of this poem. Further, I will try to provide you its Hindi explanation too. So till then, stay connected and